So, continuing to build our user interface, let's take a look on where we stopped last time. And well, we put a form in the first view that user faces so that it asks to authenticate yourself in order to access protected content. And I actually spent some time today on to think about the aim of our system and came up with the idea to create some banking system or accounting system or billing system, whatever you call it, where newcomer users have some funds on it after they perform registration and can make fund transfers between another system accounts, create bill statements and so on. It's just an idea, and I do not have any clue how it will look in the end, so it's basically an improvisation from my side. Okay, back to our design. It still looks pretty ugly. Now I'll perform some fine-tunings and do it very quickly, so you guys follow me or just download the revision from repository where all this will be included. After that, we will create a registration form and define some WebFlow navigation rules and probably drill into some Java coding and create some backing beans. Okay, let's begin. I have prepared some textures and images for our application, so I'll just copy them all at once so that we can continue coding. Images. Let's delete this noise .png file because we'll replace it with a new better one. So I'll delete that, and here I have a new noise texture which is more visible and gray colored. So the another texture will be used as well in our application. The next one is a favorite icon to be shown in the browser address field, or when you add the web application to your favorites, and some images and some animation with extension GIF file. I'll describe later its purpose. So just select all these and put these in the images folder. Okay, now I can close that. Now let's go to our general template. And create the favicon, favicon, or how do you spell it correctly? So link relation shortcut icon, and we reference it through the resources servlet. Okay, that's done with favicon, and another changes we will perform here is some extra div container after header, between header and content, just for design, and that will be basically some extra line ID line. And now just before our div container and after body, we will do add some interesting component from PrimeFaces called Ajax status, and this is very important. Probably you ask why, and probably you noticed that PrimeFaces work in a way of that it creates all requests by in Ajax as Ajax requests by default. So when we hit all the buttons, there's an Ajax request performed, and you see. And if we do not have any indicator that shows the state of that Ajax request, we will not know if that Ajax request has finished or not, or will it ever succeed. So, and you know, this could be a real problem, because even if you think that everything is fine, but actually there's Ajax requests that never gets response from the server in the backend, which you don't see. So if that is the case, then you are in trouble. Well, so luckily the PrimeFaces library, which I very like, has a component called Ajax status, which shows us the state of that Ajax request, and if this Ajax request will never end, that state will show us. By the way, the PrimeFaces has a own website where they have the showcase application, where they shows all their components in action, with the example with the examples that you can investigate. Okay, let's go to the PrimeFaces homepage and see what they got there. So primefaces.org, and here's a demos showcase. Looks like it's not working right now. Now finally opened, and here you have plenty of components where you can try all of them. So this is actually PrimeFaces 3.6 version, but the majority of all components we have in 3.4 version as well. So the actual component we are interested in called Ajax status. Here it is, and here's 3 ways to implement this. You can go and play with it. So this is basically shows here. You notice here the status of that Ajax request. Standard is something that shows here. So actually we're interested in this programmatic way of this Ajax status implementation, so that it shows the status in front as overlay on our view. You saw that with that animating bar, which actually I included in our application before. So this is actually what we need. And here's an example, and as well as backing Java Bean. But actually we are interested in these lines, which actually create that component, and basically it says that this component on start shows us some dialog. This is basically JavaScript dialog show, and on success this dialog is highlighted. So, and here's our dialog, and we see we reference the status dialog and the widget variable called the status dialog. And okay, I will include this in our code and then describe the other attribute meanings. So I'll go back and here and copy here the PrimeFaces component. So as I said before, we hide and show and hide the dialog window. So this says that dialog should be modal, and this is just a variable we're referencing to our dialog. Header means that this will be printed in the dialog as dialog title. I just put here the processing following by 3 dots, and another 2 variables just says if we will allow to drag it, so we can grab it and drag on our display, and if we will allow to close it. So I just put we can drag it through and closable false. You can do it in your own way. So the next is the graphic image we put here. We can put everything we want. Just how we saw an example from PrimeFaces, there was a Ajax loading bar. I just downloaded that bar and included it in our application, and now we will reference it here, and I will just small corrections here, and let's save it. And that's all, that easy. So if you go back to PrimeFaces homepage, you can overview all the components and decide how much freedom it will give to you, and I say you will be impressed. So this is just predefined components, and you always can override them, customize them, or even in Java coding, or just by visual appearance customization with cascade style sheets, or even create your new components, which is superb. Actually, the PrimeFaces itself overrides the standard Java surface components and adds the brand new ones. So all these are totally free, and let's look at something interesting here. Calendar. And you can also change the built-in. Actually, there's here's PrimeFaces has built-in the user interface framework from jQuery, and you can choose the themes from existing one or create your own themes. So you have total freedom in customization for your specific needs. Okay. Well, here's command buttons we used. Ajax, we can do it in a non-Ajax submit. You see this. If we want to disable Ajax request, we just put this attribute with false value to our command button, and that's all. So confirmation dialog, destroy the world, not yet. Or here's another component, which is the name is growl, and editor, built-in editor. You can some text here and create some, what you see is what you get. Color picker, then data grid, data list, ordered, data table, sorting with sorting capabilities. Google Maps, then charts, so bars, and all with the examples, drag and drop, yeah, data exporter, what is that? Oh, we can even export some data in Excel, in PDF, in CSV, and that's very interesting. Great. XML. So charts. Here's a growl, which I showed you before. Some compare is interesting. Progress bar. And file uploading, which is basically drag and drop, and of course multiple file uploading, where you can choose as many files as you want, and these all will be pulled and uploaded to the server. And here you can define the allowed types, regular expression. So and it has a mobile components as well, which is you can create the user interface for your iPhones and other mobile devices. And very interesting project is PrimeFaces Push, Prime Push, where you can create some extremely interactive components. For example, counter. This is a global counter. If I click, I can increment this number by 1, and all the other users that has this page opened as well will see that. Let's say I will try to open this in Internet Explorer and see how this works. So here's the counter, and if I click here, you see that this synchronously increments by 1. This is great, and it's basically the way you create the chat rooms. Here's, for example, some example chat room, and I'll do this same for let's say I will say something in that public chat, and you see that here's already a message popped out that Duncan joined the channel. And if I say hi, Duncan was here. Actually, this is open to private chat. Send, and you see that changes went through the server and updated my browser's view. So you see how this is amazing, and how this gives the freedom to you Okay, enough for playing, and let's go back to our application. So just before we start playing with our style CSS file, which is mainly will contain the most changes to our user interface, I will perform small changes in our composition called welcome. Here we'll just add the style class for our authentication form to be able to manipulate it from our cascade style sheets. Style, no proposals, let's add class. And let's put here field set. Then add some extra styling. Margin 0 auto. And last one, improvement. Let's add some icon to this button. And this is new user button. Let's copy this to here and change this to UI icon plus, so that we will have a plus icon. Okay, and the last thing which will require a lot of modification is our style CSS, which I will now proceed with. So let's start from increasing width to, let's say, 91%. Change the background to the noise 3.png and finally define some global stylings for our font. So the font family, let's say it will be okay, Verdana, and some others. What's to our header? Let's change this background color to something more interesting, and background size, let's say 58 pixels, and more fine tunings. Next one is put styling to our line. Actually, put stylings for our field set. I actually make pauses, but before I finish all these stylings to just not to lose too much time for this. So put stylings to our field set legend, which is actually this one, and we just change the background color and modificate some margins and border and shadows. So next we put stylings for our tooltips, and with some clever linear gradient to our background. I don't know if it is supported by other browsers, at least Mozilla Firefox supports it. And the last two ones is actually this I overwrite these style classes from the original PrimeFaces library, and I think you can find these all style classes names in some PrimeFaces documentation or some another documents. I actually find these style classes names from Firefox web developer tools, so it's easier for me. And what I do here, I override these stylings and put this keyword important. That means that this should be taken in effect and not that is in the PrimeFaces style classes. And so here we modify the dialog title bar, which actually affects our all dialogues, but in our case we have one dialog which is for Ajax status, and this will be changed with some background color and text color and so on. And this overlay means that we do not want the background, or maybe you want and you can delete this. I just don't like when these all web pages flashing with that black background, so I put the value to known, and let's see how it will look in the end. So I will save this style class, and we have plenty stylings here. And actually I think that we are ready to look at the results of our hard work and see how it looks now. So I will stop my server. And recompile application. Start the server again. And go refresh our application. I think that style class is cached, so I'll refresh this. Oh, that's I'm talking about. So it looks pretty cool right now. So we have our new tooltips here with different styling. We have the image, and by the way, here's our icon, and it should work if I add this to my favorites. You see, as well as our plus icon. And let's test if our Ajax status component is working. So I'll leave these fields empty and let the JSF framework to validate it against empty values. So if I click sign in, actually it works, but the loading bar is not working. And let's see if we can correct this. I'll go to our template again, and okay, it looks something here is wrong, so let's try this way. Save, run as install, and I hope that this will not require the server restart, and I hope this will be in effect. Yeah, I think this worked well without the server restart, so let's go back and refresh our page. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, succeeded. So it flashes pretty fast, it works, and I will have a powerful machine, and it works really fast, and so you don't see much. But let's say if we make our server, actually we stop our web server, and that this AJAX request will never get response from server, then we have a good indicator that something is going wrong. Here I stopped the server and hit this button again, and we'll see if this AJAX request will ever end. So I hit the button and I see that this AJAX request is processing, and it will never end because the server is down. And yeah, that's cool. And you see that you can drag it, but you can't close it. So you can add the attribute to close this. Not big deal. Okay. Now I hope that. Actually, by the way, I have some web design background, and really getting anxious when I look at the ugly design. So I hope if we manage to create some base for our application design, that will give us extra motivation to continue to work on our system. So the next thing we will do is we'll create another form, which is a registration form, and get it available by hitting this sign up button, which will require us to define some WebFlow navigation rules in our WebFlow definition file. So let's go back to our Eclipse. Something to close it. Close this, and now I wanna go to Flow's main, open this one, and open the web main Flow definition file, and yeah, by the way, I forgot to do something. I will commit these changes we made before today. So, because I want it to be as a separate change set, which you can overview. So I'm committing this, and then we will proceed. So, commit, creating applications interfaces, facelets, and let it be actually UI fine tunings plus Ajax status component, and committing all changes. So okay. So all files are transferred, and now I have synchronous version of this repository. So okay, back to our WebFlow. So we want to create a new XHTML view for our sign up button. So let's go to main. We do it in the same flow called main flow, and use WebFlow transitions to change the view states. So okay, create new HTML file, and let's say it will be called sign up dot XHTML. Okay. Position okay, finish. Delete all that content, and actually we can just copy this all stuff from here to the new view SciApp XHTML. Okay, and now we'll perform some corrections here. And what we want to do here, let's just delete this dog type. I don't think it is necessary here. I don't actually remember why I put it here. So I delete this and leave just XML version and encoding, then UI composition, and next let's do the same for our welcome XHTML. Okay, I'll leave this as it is, and we wanna change here please sign up instead of in, and please sign up. Then leave as it is. Here we change this to sign up form, leave the style class, and here we change to registration form, leave the messages component in place, and change this to, let's say, reg panel grid, leave all stylings in place, and okay, let's create our fields for our registration sign up form. So I will push this down because we need some new fields. Let's put our first field as format. Okay, sorry, it's a little laggy. Okay. And that's basically our first name field with the red asterisk. Then we define input text field from PrimeFaces library, as we did it in our authentication form. Then ID first name, label first name, value empty by now. Later we will add the reference some bean here required, so it's validated against empty values. Title, and we add validation for length. So the minimum is 2, so 2 characters should be typed in to not to fail form validation. And tooltip for this field, as we did previously. The second field has become really laggy. I don't know why. So I put it in last name, which is pretty similar to the first name, and yet we need a username, which we already have Come on, it's so laggy. I don't understand what's happening. Try to close browser. So username, which is already we want. Come on. Stopped. Save. Just one thing here, as we want to add the validation as well for length. Input text. Okay. And the two last fields, the first one is enter password field, and we use the PrimeFaces password component, and let's give the ID for it, pass1, value empty, required true, label password, title please enter password. Change this attribute for tooltip to 1 to correspond to our password input field, and let's add the length validation, the same as here. And now we will add the second password field to be able to validate that user typed password correctly. And before we create that field, I want to show this interesting attribute you can add to the PrimeFaces password component, and it's called feedback with the value true, which actually enables us some feedback about how secure this particular password is. And the other attribute compares the input typed in values to the second input field of password. So it's all based on Java server faces. We do not need to do this validation. All is done by JSF instead. So, and and you know what, I think that we do not need this tooltip here because it's obvious, and it's replaced by our feedback. So I think we should delete this tooltip here, but to keep our table formed correctly, let's say we output the empty value here. So I double checked it, it should work. So, and the next field is we want to repeat that password. And the last field, let's copy it here and correct to repeat password. And copy this. Now we call this as pass2, And remember that we reference it from here in match attribute, so we compare these two fields, and value is empty, and this is required field, label password, title please enter password, let's leave it, and this is not required here, so feedback we have in the first field, and we do not need any more matching. And we do not need the validated length as well, because it's validated here. So in the case of non-matching passwords, there will be an error message. Okay. And what's with our buttons? Just add additional. And we want the first button to navigate back to our sign in form. So I'll correct this back to sign in. Action actually the same. Let me think. I think we do not require the update here, because we're just navigating back, and we'll correct icon later. And value, let's say back to sign in. And for icon, let's open a web browser and icon names, and let's see if we find some. Okay. So I guess we need some arrow back, like this one, or even better, like this one. It was called UI icon arrow return thick. UI icon arrow thick. You can copy this with a little correction, and I think it should work. So go back, and here I will copy this arrow, and there was arrow return thick 1W, then arrow return thick 1W. Okay, let's hope it will work. So and the second button, ID is the same ID submit button, action actually side up, then update. In this case actually we update the reg panel grid instead of log panel grid, and we update messages of course, and leave the icon check, and value sign up. Okay, and it looks like we finish our sign up form. and it looks complete. Okay, now let's go back to our WebFlow definition file. And what we got here, here you see we have one single view state with ID welcome, and in WebFlow definition file, the first view state that appears in our XML file is actually the first one. So if we need the welcome view state with view welcome to be first when user access this flow, then it should be arranged as first in XML file. Or we can use additional tags. I don't know if it will be proposed here, but yeah, we can choose the start state here, or just leave as it is now. The first state will be first. So I will leave this as it is. So okay, this view state reference the exactly a view called like we have in ID, but we can point to the view by attribute view and point that actual view, which is in our case is welcome XHTML, which have our basically our authentication form. And okay. Inside that view state, we can create many transitions, and if we click Control space on our keyboard, we have these proposed options. Oh, and actually we need this transition, and if you look at this documentation here, this is a path from this state to another state, triggered by an event. So we need to catch an event, which actually, let's transition, and I will do it as a short closing tag. Now I'll put this attribute on and the second attribute too. Okay, so what event we need to go to catch? Actually, we go to our welcome XHTML, and we see that we have an action new user, which is actually exactly what we need. Let's copy this, and we go back to our WebFlow definition file and copy this here, and we need to create a new view state. And actually there here's a couple of ways you can implement this transition. You can do this sign up view as a subflow. You see we have here a subflow option that's basically flow and underflow. So you can do this this way. I just think that in our case is more suitable to create a new view state like this, and give the ID to it, sign up, and here's some exceptions: element transition reference non-existing state. So we have validations here, so this is very convenient. So we want to make transition to this another sign up state. So put this here, and of course we need a view. In this case this will be sign up view, and here we want to create a transition back to the welcome state. So it's a bidirectional navigation. So in this case we need to catch the event back to sign in, then on back to sign in to welcome, like that. By the way, sorry for this confusion with these IDs and view names, just improvisation from my side, so I just type in first thing that comes to mind. So okay, let's see how it looks in diagram now. This is not the diagram, and here's the diagram, and we'll see that we have two view states, welcome and sign up, and navigation between them. So on new user event we make transition to sign up view. On back to sign in event we make transition back to our authentication form. Fine. I think we can test this and then proceed, continue with our so yeah, let's test this. Maybe this even will not work. So master start. Okay. First, let's test our transition to registration form. Some problem here. Yeah, that's probably a mistake. It tries to submit this form instead of navigating to this to the another view state. So let's go back and see how we can improve this. So first of all, we actually do not need this update attribute here, because this button have just navigation purpose. So I will delete this one, and second thing, skip the validation, and for form submission I think there was some attribute. Let's see if I'm correct, and I'll try to type in JSF immediate true. I think this was correct. Yeah, that's exactly what we are looking for. Actually, I'll just copy this. I'm quite sure that this is exactly what we are looking for, and put it here. And we have another place where the same will encounters the same situation, and that is the navigation button under this sign up view, and here is navigation back to sign in view. So here we need to add this as well. Immediate true. And let's see if that makes sense. Okay. I'll add slight modification to my build command. Remove this clean key so that application will be installed immediately, and hopefully Tomcat server will not require a restart. Okay. Apply, run. Let's go back to our application and see if this fixed our problem. So we hit the sign up button, and we should be redirected to the sign up view. Click, and success. We see that now we have a registration form field set with all our fields here, and of course the heading changed to please sign up, and title changed to please sign up next to our icon. So, and let's try to navigate back, and we are back. Fine. And you see that we stay in the same flow, which is called main, even if we change the views that user faces. We are inside one single flow. Just this parameters changes to some, I don't know what this means actually, execution and state or something else, whatever. So in the end, this is WebFlow engine managed URL strings. So okay, and we see that our icon worked well, which is back icon, and yeah, here we see too large font size. We'll correct this later, and I think that almost all works fine. Yet another problem. We see that we have a fixed height of this content container, so we need to fix this in our stylings so that it will stretch down when required. So we'll fix it. So let's go to our stylings, and here's the heights, and let's say we'll add this one. I don't know actually if this will fix it, or we need some additional fixes, but let's try at least. Compile. Yeah, success. You see that this now is stretched to the following to the inner container sizes that is increased. Okay, another fix we need is that this huge font here. Let's go back to our stylings. And luckily I think just that I just remember the correct styling for it from my previous experience. So this will be UI password panel, and here I want to define font size. Let's say it will be 11 pixels. Okay, compile. And we fixed it. Okay, that's cool. Okay. And to summarize up all we have achieved here, let's just test again on what we got here. So when user accesses our application, it faces the first view state in our flow, and this is our welcome XHTML view. So we got this authentication form, and by the way, all these views, which is XHTML, can't be accessed directly by typing in URL string, because these are placed in web.in folder, which is protected through direct access, and all these views are used internally by our application to form the actual interface that user sees. So basically here's our form, and it simply has validation against empty values, and that is the Ajax validation. So if we hit, we get the error, this value is required. If we type something in, then we have a partial validation, so we have one message. And if we type in both fields, then I guess nothing gonna happen, because we do not have any action listeners and backing Java classes, so just nothing happens. Still shows the value is required. Why? So we'll test this again when we have some backing Java bin, so that this test will not be that much synthetic. So okay, this is not that important at the moment. So we have another button which is for the newcomers, and this redirects us to sign up view, where we have our registration form, and what actually happens here is this event is thrown and we catch it here, and make a transition to the second view state with that view which has our sign up form. And it has a back to sign in button, which makes pretty opposite. It catches the back to sign in event and make transition back to our welcome view. So we see how it works, yeah. And now we have form with some more complex validation, and let's see how it works. So if we hit just with empty fields, then we have 5 messages about all fields values required. And if we type in just less than 2 letters, then we should have validation that says that length is less than allowable minimum of 2. And this is a combined messages. And if we type in something longer here, then try to type in values that does not match, we should get another error, which is password validation error. Actually, it could be some more informational. I guess we need to enable details on our messages component, which will give us an error message that describes this validation error that these passwords did not match. So actually we know that these passwords did not match, and we have this validation error. So all this validation is done for us by JSF framework, so we do not have to write any custom validation. This is all done for us, and we can be sure that all this requests sent to server is well formed, so it is validated. So if I and this by the way shows as how our password is secure. So if I type some letters and numbers and then some another symbols, I have the strong, good password, weak, and so on. So if I put here identical passwords, still I get this validation error. Okay, this is something that we shouldn't test it at the moment, because we do not have any Java classes in backend. So we will address this in the next in our next videos. So let's see what we have had there. So we had length validation, required validation, then we had this matching validation and our feedback. Yeah, I think all works fine. And I think that's all. The last thing we will do in this video is adding some backend Java class and bind these components to that Java class fields. Okay, I think that I will just make a commit with these changes, a separate change set, commit and put this comment as sign up form and WebFlow navigation rules, and comment all these changes. Fine. Okay guys, I'm starting to feel tired today, so I think it will be better if we continue the next video and create our backend Java classes as I promised, and bring the model to our web using to our views using WebFlow. So that will be done in the next video, and probably will cover and string security validation and some database operations in the next video. So there will be much more interesting things, so follow my channel updates. And yeah, as I posted on my channel, that I've decided that when we finish this application, we will integrate some SOAP web services in our application, so that we can using web service access some data, for example some build statements and other operations, and integrate as well XML file deserialization using JAXB framework. Okay, we ended up with a very long video today, so but remember that this is not just about teaching on examples. This is also all about describing how the things work, so that you understand the application structure and how it works. So this is one of the reasons why the video is getting longer and longer. So okay guys, hope you enjoy and have a nice days, and don't forget to subscribe. So